Hello, welcome on board. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to get to write the best rental apartment. You know, searching for a rental apartment, especially as a beginner, can be quite a lot of task, especially when you do not even know what to look out for. I'm here to guide you on how you could get the best rental apartment in a bit to let you know what to look out for.
I guess you're back. Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply.
Oh, my first rental apartment. Oh my god. This rental apartment was shoddy in every sense of the word imaginable. I got the apartment. Well, I checked for the things. I checked for the apartment. I scrutinized it to the best of my knowledge. Although I wasn't too okay with it, but I just felt like, well, I think it's kind of manageable. It's not that bad. Yeah, that's what I thought. But when I got into the apartment, I started noticing some things that were just very uncomfortable for me. Now, the first thing that threw me off, like blew me away, blew my mind, was the noise. Why is this apartment noisy? This apartment was seriously noisy. We had motorists that were driving close to my house. My house was very close to the major road, so we had a lot of motorists, a lot of cyclists that were moving very close to my apartment. And anytime they just drive past, especially when they hoot their horn, gosh, it's annoying. So the fact that my apartment was close to the road where there were a lot of motorists and cyclists and various vehicles passing through posed a very noise inconvenience to me. Another thing I noticed was that at night there was this beer parlor, or what they call pub, downstairs, very close to my house at night. You know that these people, they come to drink in the pub. They just come to relax, wine and dine and drink their beer and stuff. Do you know that? They stay there till late 2 a.m. Oh God, come closer. Do you know that it was so loud to the extent that I used to block my ear with tissue paper? Look at it. Look at it here, just see.
I have to take this.
As if that was not enough, another thing I noticed was that the bathroom was not well carved in a way that the water flows towards the vent. So it was sloping backward instead of forward toward the vent. You know what that means? Meaning that anytime one's bathing in it, the water tends to flow backwards. And most times when the water gets very full, it flows into my room. Another one was my kitchen sink. I don't know how I didn't discover this while I was trying to assess the house for rent. The kitchen had a vent, had a hole in it, so to say, at the top of the sink where, sink always has water in it. So this sink had a hole of some sort in it. So anytime there's water in it, it tends to flow down to the ground. It tends to mess up my kitchen floor. I regretted that apartment, although it was a smooth one, it was a good one, but in many ways I regretted taking it. So as not to go too much into my story, let me start giving you some tips on how to get the best rental apartment. Things for you to look out for. So the first thing you should look out for is the neighborhood. You should ask questions, go to the apartment, go around the neighborhood and ask people in the neighborhood, ask them if this place where you're going to get your apartment, if it's noisy, if they have crazy tenants in it, if they have people who are just very violent, people tend to, or quite pugnacious, tend to fight at any slight provocation. Check if there is a pub close to the house. Check if there's any busy a place like a supermarket, like a club, like airport, these places that tend to emit a lot of noise. just go around the perimeters of the apartment to check if there's a presence of such location in your apartment. Another thing for you to look out for is the proximity to important locations. Yeah, we know there are a lot of locations that we tend to visit a lot, the likes of churches, mosque, the likes of schools, open market, grocery stores, supermarket, on and on. You need to check around if these places, these locations are close to the apartment that you're assessing. So you have to stroll around to see where the school is at, because of course you're going to take your kids to school, right? Even if you're getting another school for them, you check if they have standard school in that area, and if the school is close to your apartment, you check other locations, very necessary locations, to see also if they are close to the apartment, because you don't want to be traveling miles to get food items to buy. So that is very key. Another thing to look out for is the year it was built. Well, it might not see this as very, very important per se, but it really is very important. Ask the owner of the apartment what year was it built. Not just asking them, because you could just say anything. You should corroborate it with an evidence, a document that states the year it was built, because the houses have been there for years, like talking about decades, century, and the houses are just hanging on a very thin ice. The houses that collapse, there are disastrous things that happen to houses that have been hanging there for too long. You don't want that happening to you, so you have to ask the year that the house was built. Very important. Another thing to look out for is the security. The neighborhood, is it secure? Are there kidnappings? Especially if you live in a country like Nigeria where we have security issues. You should ask if the neighborhood is secure enough. You should ask if there are kidnappings, if there are murder, if there are thefts, like whatever. Just ask if there's any form of security threat in that area that you're looking to get an apartment. Not just the area, you should also find out the security measures that they adopt in the compound that the apartment is located in. Like, do they have a security guard? Do they have a fence? Is it fenced around? Do they have gates? So these are things that you should assess as well while trying to get the apartment, to see how well the compound is secure and how well the neighborhood is secure as well. Check for wall cracks. Are there cracks in the wall? You know, when the wall has cracks, there's a likelihood that pests are going to get into your apartment. You wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want a situation where you wake up in the morning and you see a snake staring at you, like oh my god, I guess you're just gonna pass out at that moment. It could happen if there's a crack on the wall. So scan around the house, look at the walls to see if there's any form of crack on the wall, so that you don't get to be sharing your apartment with rodents, with poisonous animals, with insects and the likes. Another point to look out for is the environmental hazard. There are a lot of environmental hazards that could pose a threat to your health, like the location of a mast close to your house, the location of a refinery, an oil well that emits pollutants into the air that you breathe in, the location of a stagnant, a flood somewhere that just breeds, insects. Like, just check around to see if there's any form of environmental hazard, because health is wealth. Another thing to look out for is furniture and fittings. Yeah, gone are the days where landlords just rent the apartment and the apartment is all dry. You wouldn't even see a single furniture. Come on, developers are upping their game at the moment, so you should check to see if the furniture, at least if there's a wardrobe, if there's a kitchen and gas, if there are furniture and fittings in the kitchen. Just check to see that there's a presence of basic furniture and fittings in the apartment. I know that my apartment I talked about, it had a lot of inconvenience and disturbing thing to it. But then the good part is that it came with a wardrobe, which I was thankful for. At least I didn't have to bother about getting a wardrobe for myself. So check if there's a presence of this basic furniture and fittings in the apartment. Okay, they're in good condition. Boy, there are houses that they're just uninhabitable. Like, there's no point. Like, no one can even live there. Maybe the house should just be let out to animals, because The house is just, it's just so dead. The houses where you see the walls are cracked, the walls have indelible stains in it, the tiles all broken, the tiles have stains, disgusting stains. The toilet, can't even look at it. The bathroom, geez, like, please do well to check that the apartment is in a good condition. You don't want to park into an apartment where the windows are broken, the doors are falling, the walls, the ground, they're all dirty, indelible stains, they're all disgusting, the ceiling is cracked. You wouldn't want that. So check to see that the house is in a very good, habitable condition, very key. Another thing for you to look out for is the presence of basic amenities and infrastructure in the environment. Do they have good supply of electricity? Like in countries like Nigeria, where we have limited supply of these basic amenities, like this is very vital for you to look into. Check the road network as well, because you wouldn't want to be passing through bush to the major road. Of course, you want to get an apartment in a place where you can easily navigate through to your house. So ensure that there's a good road network, ensure that there's a smooth and good supply of electricity, and also ensure that there's a smooth supply of water as well. For those that have cars, you have to check for a space to park your car, because you don't want a situation where you rent an apartment. You're not going to be parking your car in someone's house, or you're parking your car outside your compound, which is at risk of theft. You wouldn't want that. So you also should scan to see that there is at least a room for you to park your car. So even if you see a parking spot in the house, don't just be confident and say, okay, yeah, there's a parking spot in the house. Please wait for all the tenants to come and park their cars in. So you see, if when they're all through parking their cars, if your own car will still have space, so you don't end up parking into the house and you don't have space to park your cars, you start having issues with the tenants and all of that. So these are things for you to look out for. The last thing that we're going to talk about is the flow of water. Go into the house, walk into the house, turn on the taps, check if it's running, test every tap in the house. Go to the kitchen, bathroom, to wherever. Put on the tap if it's running. Good deal. Put on the shower if it's running. Beautiful. Flush the toilet. Flush all the toilets in the house to see if it's working well. Just do a thorough water test in the house. Check around for leakages. If any of the pipes are leaking, any of the vents are leaking, just scan around for any sort of leakages. These are also very vital. Overall, I've touched on about 11 things for you to look out for in renting your apartment. Please, don't be like me. I got very frustrated with my first apartment. Take out your time to meticulously scan through your apartment, assess the apartment to see if it's something that you'd want to commit a 1 year into, 1 year of payment into. Okay, so that'll be all for now. If you like this video, I want you to subscribe to my channel, and I also want you to hit the notification bell so you get our uploads right on your device. Also, check the description box below for beautiful nuggets that you don't want to miss out on. I'll see you in the next video. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.
'Cause you are the only one.